Yeah, I see that UConn stuff.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Talking Hoops. It's your girl, Coach T, joined by the lovely Coach Mac and Mr. Worldwide himself, Ron Briscoe. And tonight, so many topics to discuss. As you can hear, we kind of rolled into this current conversation from our behind the scenes convo. And we'll go ahead and acknowledge Coach Mac's shirt right now. As we see she's repping, let's get this out the way, right, Ron? It's better we get it out the way early.
Yeah. They
Say it with your chest.
beat up on Reggie Dickerson last night by 40 something points. So they 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 just misused and poor people last night. But
Mm,
that's why she got that
Hey,
shirt on. And Gino
hey,
became the #1 overall coach in
that's
everything.
right.
yes,
Put
the
some
most
respect on
winningest
it.
coach, as it was a tie previously between, well, Tara Vanderveer. They were both up there, and now Gino has surpassed that and stands alone at the #1 spot as the most winningest coach in NCAA history. So, congratulations to Gino Oriema and the Yukon Huskies. Now that that's out the way, we'll circle back. I just want to make sure, Coach Mac, I showed you some love.
Thank you.
We will jump in. I have a few things, but one thing that I have to start with is what is going on with all of the injuries in the NBA right now?
Stealing money. That's what they doing. They stealing money. I have never seen anything like this over my entire life of watching the NBA to come down to where almost every team has not maybe one player out, but eight. And I know my New Orleans Pelicans are in bad shape. So, T, before you
Ooh.
on them, let me put it out there. They are in bad shape. They walking around like a mass unit over here in New Orleans. They signing players not from the G League, players from off the street to
Mm,
come for them. And it's amazing. I don't know what's going on. Maybe y'all can help me.
you know, and Coach Mack, your experience with coaching college basketball, you can maybe speak a little bit more to this as well. But would you say that this is the effect of overtraining, or is it the effect of improper post workout care, right? We know LeBron James has spoken numerous of times about the amount of money that he dedicates and puts into recovery, rehab, and treatment for his body. Are these guys not doing the same? Or is there this a side effect of years of overtraining, maybe only playing one sport for all of these years now, and now that you're in the pros and you're playing at a higher volume, having to travel, and you get one day or maybe 12 hours depending on your flight and when you arrive to the next location between games? What do you think, just based on what you know and what you saw and on the college level, what do you think might be going on here?
I do think it's a combination of all that you said, in addition to nutrition. I think
Mm,
people overlook nutrition way, way too much. And that plays a key factor in how your body recovers. That plays a key factor in how your bones develop and things such as that. And then also can it allows your body to at least have the longevity that it needs to sustain the type of activity that's being displayed. So when you have poor nutrition and then you're pairing that with, you know, wear and tear, age, all that plays a role into what's happening with your body. And if you're not taking care of it, as we see, LeBron does like an amazing job with taking care of his body. And you see, if you haven't seen the documentary, I forgot what it's called, Starting Five or something like that. He talks
mhm.
about the things that he goes through, the type of uh, repair that he does for his body, things that he do after the game, before the game, and things such as that. So all of that does play a role into how your body recovers or don't recover, and how you play and don't play.
That is
Let
a
me
great point.
let me add on to that, Coach. You're exactly right, and that was a great detailed synopsis. It also adds with: are some of these guys undertrained? Are they not
Hmm.
preparing their body to play that many games? That could be another point that you have to look at. But going through the process of being in physical shape, as you know, like you said, coach, you have to learn how to stretch. You have to learn how to condition your body. Nutrition is one thing, like you added, very important. And you have to maintain a certain amount of strength and flexibility to be able to play this game. Icing down, rehab when needed. You got to always rehab after a game. So a lot of guys just go in there, finish the game, take a shower, run out, and go to the club.
Ron,
I
are
mean,
some of
really,
them showering?
I
yeah,
was about to say that.
that's why I said, didn't I say take a shower
But
and run
our
out?
song,
Yeah.
It's a rinse off.
Oh, okay. And run out and go to the club when they should be icing down, going and get some little therapy on the ankle or the back or the thigh, just kind of getting those kinks out so they can be ready to go the next day or the next 2 days. And travel does have a lot to do with it. If you're going out to the club, getting back in 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and then, of course, many of them have practice at about 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning for shoot around. And if you're on the road, you got to jump on that flight either right after the game or early in the morning, and you're not getting that in. You're just rolling in, and they expect for you to run out there on the court and get it done. If you're not taking proper care of your body as a professional, this is what it looks like when the injuries start to pop up.
Oh
Ron,
yeah.
I want to touch on another important thing that you mentioned that gets overlooked by coaches and athletes. Um, you mentioned about stretching. My son experienced hip flexor injuries in both of his hips and couldn't figure out what was going on because I mean he could literally just jump up and come down, and next thing you know, his hip is injured. And
Mm.
so one of the things we had to do was he has to go through yoga. He has to do yoga or do like a really, really good stretching program. And that's it. And that's because his muscle and his ligaments and everything is so tight. But I think about the time when I played, coaches don't, I mean, you stretch, but is it a real stretch? You're
Hmm.
talking
Mm-mm.
about your dynamic stretching or your static stretching where you're just bent over touching your toes, and that's pretty much it. But it's not really what you need to perform at the peak that you should. So I think stretching is
Mhm.
another thing that really gets overlooked or just pretty much underestimated that a lot of athletes should be doing that could really help with injuries as well.
Right, right. That stretching is very important. Uh, a lot of people, they have that different body
Mm-hmm.
shapes, muscle shapes, and everything. There's tightness, and there's some people that are just naturally flexible.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, really more girls are flexible than guys. But then you'll
Hmm.
catch a couple of guys that are really flexible, and you'll go like, "Wow, man, I can't believe you can open your legs and put your head on the floor, and you go like, man, I tried to do that hour. I'll be wound up just pulling up everything on me. But that's the key point. The key point is to be a regimen of stretching every day, like you said, yoga, and just that mental aspect of this meditating and just
Mm-hmm.
relax, and that'll help you out a whole lot as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that is something that I wish that I would have done more of throughout my time in college and overseas, is actually just taking more time to stretch. Because it, like, the stretching's not fun and it hurts. But you know what? It you will be rewarded. You take care of your body and it will take care of you. And we see
Mm-hmm.
that with the likes of LeBron James, right? And other
Mhm.
players that we've watched play into longer years. I mean, even look at Chris Paul, who's still active, and Steph Curry, they're hitting that 35, 36 age range, and they're still performing at a high level. And speaking of high level performances, the Cavs have
Mm.
finally taken their first L. They lead the Eastern Conference right now. 16-1 is their current record. Followed behind them is the Celtics.
Mhm.
And I just have a question for you all. Do you think that the Cavs will be able to sustain this performance throughout the duration of the season?
I don't know. Honestly, I didn't expect for them to get to this point. So that's the first shocker. But the fact that they are the fact that they are performing at this level, I mean, hey, I can't rule them out. It's a strong possibility.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, look, they came on strong at the end of the season last year and gave Indiana a run for their money.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Donovan Mitchell is a tremendous player, and he's been tremendous all this first part of the season in these first 16, 17 games. Of course, he didn't play the other night because of
Mm-hmm.
injury, but he's back. But still, they have some young players that are just scratching the surface over there and making a name for themselves. And it looks like Donovan is leading the charge, and they're taking notes, and they're falling right behind him, and they're playing with that gutsy and give it all and willpower attitude that he has. And look, they're ringing up, all time wins that we haven't seen in Cavaliers history since LeBron was there.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's been great to see. I think they so far as this to start the season off, they have been the Cinderella team that I don't think anyone predicted that they would start this strong. Just when you look at the roster, right? Just looking at the roster, it doesn't jump out at you that this would be the team that only has one loss, especially on the East, where I feel like competition has gotten a little bit better on the East compared to previous years. They always say the East is the easier side compared to the West, and that it's harder to win games in the West.
Oh, here we go with that West Coast being harder than.
Ron, all I'm doing is I didn't say this. I'm just stating the historical information that people have always said.
Okay,
I'm just the messenger, Ron. Don't shoot the messenger.
I'm not shooting you. I'm just, I got to give you some stuff, girl.
But on the West side, though, we have the Warriors leading the West, 11-3 record right now, and the bench. Okay, the bench has set a record as they currently have the best bench in NBA history, averaging 58 points per game.
Well, that's impressive for a bench.
It- it-
Very
that's
impressive.
that is huge. That is huge. And I think this is another team that, everybody was kind of like this, the Warriors, hang it up and it's
Hmm.
almost about that time. And they have positioned themselves to the number one spot to start the season off. And if they continue playing like this, they are going to be a very tough team to beat.
The only thing wrong with the Warriors is your boy Draymond Green is still over there with his Power Ranger suit on, acting a clown.
I mean, a plum fool out there.
What it
The
like
other
Oh,
day, the other
already.
day, he got kicked out of the game, attacked, cursed the referee out. They said, "Get out of here! Get out of here, Draymond." They put your boy out of the game, Coach
and
T.
I don't first of all, that's your boy, Ron.
No, that's your
Second of
boy.
all,
That's a West Coast guy. That's your boy.
he did you guys see what happened between him and Zach Eady?
Yep,
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 he clamped his ankle.
yep.
Now, why? I just bring myself back to why. They say, I was reading the comments to see what were the sentiments of people that watched the game and saw the highlight. And I saw people saying he was trying to stop the fast break. What else was he supposed to do?
So you
He was
gonna clamp
supposed
somebody's ankle?
who's on the move in motion. You clamp their ankle. Tell me what move in basketball is that called?
A dirty
And
move.
A dirty move. How does he still have a jersey? And Draymond made comments about don't count out Dre for defensive player of the year and being a top defensive contender. But if you're playing defense by, you know, clamping ankles and backhanding people, I mean, what do we call that?
a
Dirty
wrestling move
play.
because it's definitely not. That's
It's
definitely
not
not
aggressive.
defense.
It's
It's
dirty.
wrestling.
Oh, wrestling. Oh, okay. It's a
Yes,
dirty
that's
move.
wrestling.
No,
I
it's
tell you what, he had been doing it all night with Edie. They had been going back and forth all night, slapping and talking and up and down the court. I watched that game, and
mhm.
I was like, the referee told Draymond, "Look, cut it out, Draymond." Oh, you tell him to cut it out. He's the one doing all. Now all of a sudden, when they had that break and he did that ankle thing, that's when they go, "Oh, we got enough of this Power Ranger tonight. Let's get him out of here."
You know, I don't know how he's still in the league and why do they continue to give him so many chances? I really think if he didn't play for the Warriors during that historical time period, he would be in NBA Siberia somewhere with Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma.
No, what's your guy's name that threw the basketball at the person? Uh, uh,
Pat Bev.
yeah, Beverly. He would be over there with him. That's where he would be.
Definitely be over there with Pat.
He would
At least, at least Poole got himself together and is performing.
he
Yeah,
did.
But
He did. Jordan Poole had a 42-point night the other night.
yeah, yeah.
Hopefully it's coming with some maturity. As we know, when he first went to the Wizards, his attitude was horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
And, we saw clips of him not sitting in the huddles during timeout, just total disregard, disrespect, playing very lackluster. So I would like to think that some maturity um, is the reason for his better performance compared to last year. But let's see if he can maintain. As we all know, Jordan Poole isn't the best decision maker in crunch time. So we will see how he continues to progress. But I'll go ahead and get my guys out the way, Ron, so that we could be done with that because I know.
Oh, there she goes, setting the table. Oh, nice and forks are in the right place, and she putting champagne on the table. Let's go.
Well, Ron, the way that man been hooping, Ron, I'm not putting champagne. I'm putting that 40 proof on the table. Okay,
Oh,
we need
oh, the
something.
big bottle, the
We need
big
it when
bottle,
it
huh?
when it burned. That's what
That Coke
LeBron James.
45 bottle, huh?
LeBron James and the Lakers absolutely playing amazing basketball right now. And, I wanted to get you guys' thoughts and feedback on kind of what's been circulating around the media and how they've attributed a lot of the success and improvement that we've seen amongst the team with their play, their effort, their morale to JJ Redick. Is
Huh.
is JJ Redick the solution, or have the Lakers just decided that they want to be a contender this year and they have some uh better talent, with DK as they've called him. He's earned a nickname now. And you have Anthony Davis playing just outstanding basketball. You have OG, getting triple doubles and just showing out. What does this what does this look like? Can we associate this to JJ Redick?
Coach Mac, go ahead first because I have some choice and colorful words to say.
I can say there were a lot of missing pieces with the Lakers, starting with JJ. Apparently, he is doing an amazing job with the team chemistry. That's
Mhm.
that's the biggest of it, the bulk of it. They're buying into his system, which is what all coaches dream of, buying into the system. Then you got Dawson Connect out here connecting the dots. I mean, the man out here just, oh my God, his performance has been amazing. I
It
mean, you got to
has.
give it to him. He's been
Hmm.
shooting the lights out. I mean, just outright playing some ball. Then AD, it's like, where this man been? So he's finally showing up and performing as we all expected him to play,
Hmm.
along with the other players. So I think JJ has definitely been the missing piece that this team needed, this organization needed. Let's say that, because we all know they've been through coach after coach after coach after coach, and it's just been a revolving door with it when it comes to coaches. But apparently JJ knew how to get this together, and we see the results.
Mm.
Yeah, Coach, that's a great way to put it. And look, I'm gonna have to give the Lakers their flowers, especially LeBron James. LeBron James has been looking really, really good as of late. Three triple doubles in a row for a guy who's
Hmm.
40 years old. And if I'm not mistaken, he got one just a couple of nights ago too. Because I've been watching the Lakers play a lot as of late. And JJ has done a good job in orchestrating the team and the lineup. As you said, Coach Mac Connect has been making some big connection. He had a really big game the other night, 21 points, and he made 9 threes. That's the most
Mm.
entire record for the
Hmm.
Lakers. AD, of course, he's been playing a lot better than he used to play. He got hit in the eye the other night and went down, but he turned around and came back and he played. I was like, what? AD?
What, right?
Yeah, he's playing it back to back. And,
He went out. He can
yeah,
go out.
that's right. And Reese has been playing well and hitting some really good shots. And even D'Angelo Russell,
Mm.
Yep.
the guy who I call the space cadet at times, he forgets where he's at on the court and how to play the game. But he's been playing pretty good. And yeah, Bronny, he's a good cheerleader on the bench.
Oh,
And he hadn't been playing well in the G League, but Bronny's been
Ooh.
coming and cleaning up as well. But the Lakers, I'm impressed. Coach, I got to give it to you. There goes that man.
There
mama,
goes that
there
man.
goes that man. Now, Ron, I have to circle back to a question that I had asked you. Maybe it's probably been about 4 or 5 weeks now,
Uh oh.
or maybe less than that.
Uh
I
oh.
had asked
She's
you.
serving dessert now. What is it?
I had asked you. They put out a list about top 5 NBA players in the league, and LeBron James' name was not on that list. And I said, Ron, and you said LeBron James is not top 5 in the league right now. I just want to know, does that thought still stand based on how the start of this season and how he's been playing so far?
Hmm.
And I
Let me
want
see.
you, before you answer, Ron, let me say, if
Okay.
you say no, I need you to name me a better 5 that doesn't include LeBron James right now in the NBA.
Let me see. He don't make my list. He may make your list, but he ain't made my list.
Ooh. Okay, who's your top 5 list, Ron?
Well, of course, as I said, you got Luca, but he's out right now. He's got a little ankle sprain, but he's been
Mhm.
playing well. Luca,
Mhm.
uh, the Joker,
Mhm.
okay.
Mhm.
Uh, of course, my man that hit the 56 points, 59 points the other day for Milwaukee, Guinness. And let me see, who else did I have? Oh, I had Booker.
Devin Booker.
Yep.
You telling me Devin Booker is top 5 over LeBron James? Okay, let me
And,
hear your fifth.
and hold up, I got the switch. I mean, Mitchell. Let me add Mitchell
Okay,
in. Donovan Mitchell.
that's an interesting 5, Ron.
It is.
And I left out my boy SGA.
Now, who are you taking off to put SGA up?
I didn't say. I said I left him out.
Okay, as in he's not included on this list.
No, he's not. He's like 6.
Okay.
LeBron's like 8.
Ooh, we
He
Coach
made my
Mac.
top 10. Look, he made my top 10. Like, look, yeah, you got to give me some credit. He made my top 10. He didn't make my
Coach
top 5, but he made my top 10. So look, coach, calm down. He made my top 10. He didn't make
I
my top.
mean, considering the age, I would at least, the age and the performance. He can't be top five, Ryan.
Look, I understand it's early, but everybody's playing well. LeBron has been playing well this last 5 or 6 games, but I'm winning on everything, and that's the way I see it.
Tough
I'm
Okay.
crowd.
sorry. I'm sorry. I understand he's been making some triple doubles. Yes, he's been playing, but look, also the other guys have been playing outstanding ball too. Okay, you
Yeah,
got a
but
guy. You got a guy that scored. You got a guy that scored what 50 points. No,
mhm.
you got a guy that scored 59 points.
Mhm.
That is on that list. Of
Giannis.
course, of
Mhm.
course, you got Luca, the dynamic Luca, on the list. You got KD, who's been just killing it for. Look at the Suns. The Sun is what? They 8-2 too. The
Yeah,
Phoenix Suns.
they
And
playing
K-
well.
and KD just went out, and
Mm-hmm.
he's been burning it up. And Donovan Mitchell, look what his team is. What, 16-1?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, LeBron. Your Lakers are what? What's their record, Coach?
10-3.
10-3. I rest my case.
Now, Coach Mac, I want you to go ahead and chime in before I speak to Ron's points. Who's
I
your
mean,
top
I,
five,
I
Coach Mac?
I gotta give it to I gotta give it to LeBron. Not saying he has to be number one, but he definitely got to be in the top five. Okay. I'm always gonna let KD be in my top five. I don't care what anybody says about that. So he
Mm-hmm.
definitely gotta be in there. Then you
Is
got
it?
Luca.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta give it to Giannis. And my fifth person, I'll probably go with SGA.
Okay. That's a solid list. Now, that's a solid list. Now, Ron, what I want to say, just and I don't need any feedback. I just want to say this.
I got a rebuttal sometime. Come
I
on.
know,
Come
I
on.
know.
Come on.
I'm
Give
just
me a
messing with
rebuttal.
you.
Give me a rebuttal.
I gotta give you a hard time. But what I will
I'm
say
giving you
is
a hard time. I'm not that
the
bad.
the guys you named, I will say this, they are playing excellent basketball. And but what I do have to say is, as they should, they are hitting prime age. Giannis is mid 20s. He's been in the league for how long? He should be performing like this if he's as a franchise player. But my thing is y'all young bucks in y'all prime can't stop the 40-year-old OG who's on his 21st season. It's an issue here. With
Can't stop that train.
I could see if these guys weren't in their prime, and we have to give it to KD as well. KD is a few years younger than LeBron, but he's getting up there, and as we can see, he is being impacted by injuries. But we know that KD is like Steph Curry; they're certified buckets, right? That's prolific scores. That's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But these other guys that are in their prime, you're in your prime Kobe phase, right? And
Mm-hmm.
this is that. And you mean to tell me nobody can get out there and stop OG from getting multiple triple doubles? That in itself lets me know that is the definition of go. It doesn't matter how old I am, even on your best day, I'm still coming to show up to perform at 40 years old. So I do have to just, like you said, give him his flowers. And this is also a special moment. I grew up on LeBron James, and I just feel like we won't see another player like him for a long time. And we also are the league is going to look different, and the league is going to feel different when he decides that he's done playing. And he did just recently make a comment that he's not going to ride it until the wheels fall off. He said he's got a few more seasons in him, and that's it. So, right now, I think a lot of the people that aren't LeBron James fans will have a different level of appreciation when he's done and when
Coach,
we don't see him out there.
I hear some hostility in your voice. I understand. But look, let me say this to calm you down. This is my list for right now.
Okay.
Next week, ask me next week. Ask me 2 weeks. It took you 4 weeks to ask me before because LeBron wasn't playing that well the first time you asked me, and he
Hold
didn't
on,
make the
Ron.
list. And he
Hold on,
didn't
Ron.
make the list. He just started playing in the last 2 weeks. LeBron went off.
Ron, we haven't gotten a chance to have the show. We've been having life things go on and stuff.
That's
So
why I'm
I
trying to
would
tell
I would
you.
have asked you 2 weeks ago,
I just
but
look
I
now.
stalled you out. I didn't
Look,
want to ask you over text. I said I need to
look.
get Ron in front
No,
of
you
the
could have asked me
people.
over text. You could have asked me over text.
I
You
need you.
decided not to ask me over text. That's you. That's on you. It's not
I
on
had
me.
to get you in front of the people, Ron. The
Look,
people
I'm
want to know.
talking. Look, that's what the words are. I'm giving to the people. But look, I'm also giving these words of support for LeBron, saying, "Look, I'm not. Hey, this is just my list this week, today. It could,
Fair.
my mind changed. So look, don't be so hostile on the brother over here. And look,
So let me
week, you may hear some good stuff. And look, you'll be popping your chest next week. Like, yeah, I told you. I told you. No, I told you. There you go, and all that. I know how you do it, girl. I know how you do it.
Go ahead, Coach
Well,
Mac.
let me ask you guys this since we're talking about stars. What do you guys thought on the NBA All Star tourney that's going to be more of a pickup style format for next year?
Oh no. They ain't playing defense now. I know they ain't gonna play defense in the All
So
Star
let
game.
me let me let me read to you guys what the whole format of it. So the NBA's new 14 tournament style format for the 25 All Star game is expected to have two semifinals game played up to 40 points, with the winners advancing to the finals matchup to 25 points.
Mm,
So this is pickup for an All Star game, a game that already was blah.
a pickup game.
Horrible. It was
And now
it was worse than a pickup game. We might as well went to a kindergartner basketball game. Go ahead, Coach Mac.
21. We could have played 21. It would have
We,
been about the same.
Knockout.
I really think that I'll just chime in really quick. It feels like they're doing anything to try and salvage and save it.
Mhm.
Same with the in-season tournament, kind of the same sentiments I had about the in-season tournament. You're trying to find a way to get more viewers and increase fan engagement in the start of the season rather than gearing up closer to playoffs. And this is kind of that same thing, especially after so much disdain was expressed from so many people about the All-Star game. I mean, it wasn't enjoyable at all.
Horrible.
Yeah, you're right. And coach, you're right about that. They are trying to find a way to, get all this stuff taken care of so they can go like, hey, are y'all interested? I'm not. Have y'all been watching the in tournament game? Because I really haven't been watching. I just been watching teams that are playing, and
Hmm.
most of the teams that are playing, they highlight are in the in tournament uh,
Hmm.
rounds.
Hmm.
So I'm not really into it. I mean, of course I wasn't into the floors, but I'm not into the action. What they really need to do for this All Star game, I think, to save it, and this is just a suggestion, is to have a 3-on-3.
Mm.
Let them play 3-on-3, one on one court, one on the other court, and this helps. Your 3-on-3 teams. That way, I mean, if you got three All Stars, you got three on that team. And then if you got two All Stars or one, then you make up. And let's let them play and have it like, if they want to have like a little bracket thing to where they have six teams, you know, in there and let it come down to who wins the championship. That way, they're going to play defense.
Hmm.
That way, you're going to see how competitive they are. And that way, you know how they're going to give it their all. And then as the 3-on-3 champs, they'll win the All Star and make it interesting. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Coach Mac.
It's an interesting suggestion. I just think about the big three when you said 3-on-3
Hmm.
and how that's borderline prison ball. So the question is,
Yeah, but you got
will
a
they
lot of,
really
a lot of
play?
guys out there out of shape on that 3-on-3.
Exactly. That's why it's borderline prison ball. So whoever come in, hey, that's your life. Take it or lose it.
Yeah.
They're really trying to salvage. But speaking of salvage, because I just want to make sure that we had a chance to discuss this. And Ron, I don't want you to take no offense, but I got to talk about your boy.
Ooh,
The Milwaukee Bucks having some major trouble
Uh-oh.
in paradise as they have had a horrendous start to their season. They are currently now 6-9, but they started off, was it 1-6 to start off, or 0-6 at one point?
one
And
and six.
1-6,
One and
okay.
six.
And there was a some media that came out that they would like to actually trade. However, no one in the trade market is interested. What
Nope.
are things looking like? I'm speculating, who would they like to trade, or what are they looking to get out of the trade? And then two, do you think they're having some regret about the decisions they made with the coaching staff, going all the way back to the previous coach before Adrian, Budholzer, if that's the am I pronouncing his name right?
Yeah, yeah, he's with the
What's Phoenix?
Yep, with the
he's with
Suns.
he's
Phoenix.
with Phoenix. Yeah, I saw him
Mm-hmm.
last night. Yeah.
So you have him there, and then you had Adrian that they brought in, and then they brought in Doc Rivers. Do you think there's some regret there? And then also, what are you guys' predictions about what the season will look like for them?
Terrible. Just
Really?
nope. They washed up. They've been washed up.
Oh,
Sorry.
No, no, no. Be sorry. I mean, that's just your
Try.
opinion.
We'll try it again maybe next year with another coach, perhaps. I don't know. I just know one team that's not interested in Giannis because they don't want to break up their nucleus or their three, and that's the Houston Rockets. So if you got a team
mm,
like the Rockets that's not willing to trade for someone like, mm, it's not a good sign. It's not a good
n-
look.
no.
Why
Now,
you not telling the name of this guy they trying to trade?
well, that's interesting. Are you speculating that it's Giannis that they're interested in trading?
No, I'm not speculating. I don't know. I'm
That's
just
been
trying to see. I'm trying to see who y'all talking about.
Well,
No,
that's
they.
kind of been the talk with the Milwaukee Bucks
Hmm.
is a possibility that Giannis is looking to be traded to other teams, and one of the teams that was mentioned was the Houston Rockets. However, Houston doesn't apparently seem to show any interest in trading.
Okay. I thought it was Dame Leonard that they were talking about.
Well, he
Nope,
did say that
just
he
the
would go
G.
back to Portland when he first got there.
That's
So,
what I was hearing last week. It was Dame Leonard was
He has
talking
not gotten over Portland since he left.
it, would you, Coach Mac, if you were him, and
No,
you get out there and you're shooting 5 for 24, and you're now
man.
the second option instead of being the first. I mean, it's a tough adjustment going from being franchise star player to taking a back seat and having to be Robin. But
Mm.
this is my question for you guys. Do you think that the 29 other teams are not interested in trading because they know with Giannis is Thanasis?
about.
Well, hey, apparently when they did have him on the bench, they had a much better record. Now that he's not there,
Well, he was over there cheering real hard.
Hey,
yes, they need that.
the way I
Come
see
on,
it
Vanessa. Shout
with
out for the bench players.
yeah, the way I see it with the Bucks is it's still early in the season. Let's see if they can get it straight. They went from 1-6 to 6-9 right now. It looks like they're slowly trying to pull it together, but still there are question marks. Of course, Durham is sitting right next to Doc, and like you said, Coach T, maybe they may want to get Doc out of the way and put Ham in there. But there's a lot of things and a lot of questions being asked about this team. What they're going to do, how they're going to work it. Uh, they seen Giannis go off for 59. Maybe it's slowly trying to turn around.
Hmm.
The Lopez guy's been hurt. Bobby hadn't done anything. Middleton has really broke their heart. And the trade of getting your homeboy Holiday out of there really messed up the system over there with the Bucks. So they gotta find a shooter to come in there to help them out. Giannis can't do everything. Uh, Dame Leonard needs to get his act together. Maybe he's getting long in the tooth as far as playing and needs to knock down some shots. But they need to add in another point guard and another shooting guard, and probably somebody to come in and spare Giannis on playing time because he can't do it all. So yeah, they trying to mix it up and they trying to figure it out, but it's still early, in my opinion.
Well,
So let me
I
ask you guys this question: Do you think Darvin Ham was a good addition to the Milwaukee Bucks?
mm,
That's a good question. I mean, hey, I just think that they recycle these NBA coaches all the time, as head
mhm.
coaches, assistant coaches, and he's in the fraternity, and he's
Yeah,
been
I get
he's
that.
he earned his stripes. So I mean, you always look up, and then you have a one of those guys that say, hey, they probably did him wrong or something like that. They shouldn't have fired him or something. We're gonna give him a job and give him a chance. So that's just the way it is. I mean, I'm not surprised. He was gonna be somewhere in the NBA if he wanted to be a coach because he earned his stripes, and somebody would have picked him up sooner or later.
Hmm. I think I
Yeah, but
want
to
to.
a team that's already struggling, though, that's my question. You're already struggling. And let's talk about the head coach who's, I mean, obviously he's the star of the show with a struggling team. So
Hmm.
to add a coach that came from a program that wasn't that successful as well, and then you add him to a team like the Bucks as an organization, was that a smart move?
Well, the way I see it, Coach Mike, is that the GMs and the presidents of operations all make strange moves for odd reasons.
Yes, that we
Okay,
know.
and who knows? I mean, they're gonna say, "Hey, we're gonna give him a chance, get in here. Maybe he may change some things around, and maybe he may not." But look, that's just what they do. I mean, that's what NBA people do. You get players, you trade them, you get coaches, you fire them, and you get a whole new crop of guys in there, and you see what the changes are going to be. So I can't answer if it was a good move or a bad move, but we're going to see.
Now, we've had a few comments come in from Mr. Johnson. He said, "It's over with for Milwaukee. No ham, no ma'am." And I don't know how he still has a job. I'm about to start coaching.
I
So, you
love
know,
to see
I
that.
want to say the importance of having a great point guard. Okay. And I think they are seeing that firsthand that, yes,
Mhm.
you can have your franchise player like Giannis, but the importance of having a poised and skilled point guard is critical. Look at Drew Holiday leaves from getting a championship with the Bucks. And in his first season with the Celtics, becomes a key player for the Celtics and wins a championship, and the Milwaukee Bucks are struggling, and like you said, Ron, they need another point guard. Well,
Mhm.
that was the whole point of the trade. You guys decided to trade away the engine because that's what the point guard does, and you decided to replace it with a shooting guard
Mhm.
and then expect the same or if not better outcome as when you had a point guard. Drew Holiday is a true point guard, and
Think it's a
maybe
two-point guard?
he's a true point guard. He's
Okay.
a true point guard that can score and that will knock it down. And that's what you want. You want your point guard to be effective from the point guard spot because now you make everybody have to guard their yard honestly, right?
Mhm.
You don't want to be the guy like Russell where, Russ Westbrook where they're standing at the free throw line with no respect and they say shoot it. I don't care. We'll live with you shooting
Now look,
27%.
now look, now look. Don't give your boy Russ a hard time. He had a triple double the other night.
He did.
All
He
right.
did. I'm not giving him a
Respect
hard
that
time.
man. Respect that man.
He listen, his
Let's
respect
see.
is there, but when you never learn how to shoot and it's now impacted your ability to continue your growth in your game and your career, this is why we see the issues that he's had in these past few seasons.
Well, how old
Because
is Westbrook now? Is he
he would
36, 37, or what?
no, he would have to be 33, 34. No, maybe about 34, 35. He has to
Oh,
be in that age range.
he's getting up there.
He is. And this is what happens when you've always been a truck and you never adapt your game to be able to shoot consistently, not hit some, but consistently hit some to where the other team is respecting that shot that you're taking.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so I think that is just a huge downside of Milwaukee's decision, and they're paying for their decisions right now. But I want to circle back. I believe it was you, Ron, that brought up Bronny James, as his name has been trending and making lots of noise in the media. Bronny
Yeah,
James playing with the G League team, G League tickets for a Lakers G League game are up to $1,200 per game.
for
And
what?
not only that,
Like for real.
$1,200 for the number 56 pick.
55th.
55th, excuse me, 55th pick.
That's only
And
averaging 1 to 2 points.
yeah,
5 points a game.
and also, but there is something that I don't agree with that has kind of been floating in the media, that the former NFL Super Bowl champion Clark, can't drawing a blank on his first name right now. Is it Rick?
Ryan Clark.
Ryan, there we go. So he
Mhm.
was saying he doesn't understand that why Bronny James does not travel coach with the team, and why he doesn't stay at the Courtyard Marriott. And before I chime in, I just wanted to get you all's perspective on the comments being made, because he felt strongly about it. I don't know if you guys got to watch the clip of him speaking about it, and I should have sent it to Angel to include, to pop it up right now. But if you all didn't see the clip, he felt very strongly about Bronny not traveling coach with the team, and also not staying at the Courtyard Marriott with the team on road trips. And I just wanted to see how you guys felt about that, and what are your thoughts?
My
Ron,
thoughts are
you
my,
want to
my
go
thought,
first? Them your people.
yeah. Let me chime in on this. My thoughts are this: when you're in the NBA, you're a pro, and you fly first class, and you stay in 5-star hotels, and you get treated like an NBA pro. You don't get treated like a person in the G League or in any other league. When you're in the NBA, that's what you get. That's the turf you own. So I understand where he's coming from, because he's saying like he's not good enough to be a guy staying, riding in first class or staying in a 5-star hotel. But hey, when you on the NBA roster, that's the standards and the qualifications and the policies and the procedures that they give you, and that's the route you go. So hey, take it up with the NBA.
Fair, Coach Mac.
He ain't did nothing. What is
Say that again, Coach Matt.
man? Put Bronny on the bus. Forget a plane. You got to earn your way. You got to work your way up. We got to Bronny needs to be in the trenches. That's all. Take Bronny to the trenches, toughen him up, put him in the hood for maybe a few weeks. You know what I mean? Because when you in a G League missing wide open layups, let's talk about that part. A
Mm,
wide
Yes,
open
yes.
layup by
Did you see
yourself
that?
in
Oh
the
my
in the G
goodness.
League. I
mm.
did. Finger roll that thing in the
Yeah.
front, and you
And
miss it.
Finger Roy went off on the
And
other
then you just
side.
yes, and then you just running back like it ain't nothing.
Oh,
Put Brian on the bus. That's what Brian needs to be.
before I comment, we can go ahead and thank you, Angel, our amazing producer behind the glass. Play the short snippet, please, of
Oh, he
Ryan
has it.
Clark.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
As far as like Bronny James not traveling with the team on road games, and Fred, you saying, well, they stay at the Courtyard Marriott. What has Bronny James done that he shouldn't be able to stay at the Courtyard Marriott? You say, well, they fly commercial. What has Bronny James done where he should be too good to fly commercial? The pros isn't about where you came from, how you were raised, what your parents had. Professional sports is about how well you can contribute. And you don't get treated differently because of your parents. You get treated differently because of your ability to contribute. And if I'm Bronny James, which I'm not, and I haven't grown up that way, I'm begging Rich Paul, I'm begging JJ Redick, I'm begging my father, please let me travel with this team. Please let me stay at the Courtyard Marriott. Please let me fly commercial. Please let me go somewhere where I'm gonna get up more than 6 shots in 3 games to not only prove it to my organization that I'm worthy of being on this team, but to my damn self. Yeah. Right? I've never in my life been the best player on any team. I wasn't the best player on my high school team. I wasn't the best player on my college team. I'm not the best player on this professional team or this G League team. Let me go out and prove that. Because like in the end, all of these accomplishments are gonna be for LeBron James. Bronny James gonna have money, but he ain't gonna have like the one thing that all of us ever want is proof to ourselves. Like that's what I wanted. I wanted to be able to walk off the field and be like, man, they didn't draft me and they cut me, but look at me now.
Hold up. Now I do want to chime in because there's two sides to this coin, right? And
Mhm.
from the player side, perspective side, absolutely, you need to be thugging it out with us, but on the flip side, like, yeah, you need to come thug it out with us. You need to come ride this bus with us. You need to come commercial with us, because this is how you truly build that team chemistry. However, on the flip side of that, we're talking about LeBron James Jr.
Mhm.
And am I, as LeBron James Jr., as LeBron James the billionaire, LeBron James the most known athlete in the world, am I allowing my child to fly and stay at the Courtyard Marriott and put my faith in the Courtyard Marriott security staff?
It's not the Ritz Carlton.
It's definitely not the Ritz. And I think more so in this case, it would become an issue of safety.
Mhm.
And that, I think, is probably the bigger issue here that is not being identified. But again, from the player's perspective, go grind it out. Absolutely. But on the flip side of that, there's only one LeBron James and LeBron James Jr. And his value as it relates to safety and the current world we live in, is it worth the risk? Is now
No,
what it becomes.
it's not, because what people don't know about Bronny is that he has bodyguards. People don't know that, but he has two bodyguards that goes with him everywhere he goes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Rightfully so, right? And people compare, well, no other NBA player's child who played in the G League. Yeah, but was that NBA player LeBron James?
Billionaire's kid, man. They'll still a billionaire's kid now.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And if you knew this is LeBron James Jr. and they're staying at the Courtyard Marriott on 11th and Central, it's like, hey,
In St. Louis.
now he definitely wouldn't want to fly to St. Louis with the team and stay at the Courtyard Marriott out here, okay? Let me tell you that he wouldn't want to do that. But I just wanted to touch on that briefly, because I think it's the expectation is that I think we're losing a little sight of a little bit of reality with the expectation. And we understand why Bronny is there. We understand why
Mhm.
he's getting this opportunity. So, let's not act like we don't know, and that it's so shocking that he doesn't travel with the team, and it's so shocking he's not staying at the Courtyard. Honestly, why don't you guys get the team to stay where he's at? You guys have the funds. Maybe this is something that you guys could fund to do, and you know build up the organization rather than an isolation and separation. But really quick, because time is absolutely flying, I want to give a few shout outs to some players in NBA and WNBA that have recently received some awards. Well, we have Anthony Edwards, who
Mhm.
is just playing out of his mind right now. But I would love for Anthony Edwards to be the new face of the league. But he needs a little bit more decorum.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
he just got fined 35,000 for in the middle of the game just gives the fan a middle finger, and
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. He
like,
got to do better than that.
oh. Then he's doing an interview, and they asked him about that dunk, and he says in the interview, yeah, I dunked on his ass. And I
Yeah.
said, Anthony, this is not, this is
Gotta
this is
love
a,
them.
you gotta love him, right? Because the people love him. But is he able to represent the NBA on a grander scale? It's hard to say.
He's
But
only 23.
he's a baby. He is a baby. And I will say, he just hit third most threes ever in the first 9 games, and he's been shooting the lights out of the ball. Hopefully,
Mhm.
we see this have a significant impact on his game and what that'll look like throughout the season, being able to be more consistent from the 3-point line. And then, really quickly, James Harden moves to number 19 on the all time scoring list and passed Ray Allen on the all time 3-pointer list.
That's
Mm,
big. That's really big.
it
It's,
is.
you know what list I want to see?
What?
that turnover list, because I know he's
Oh,
that that the playoff on the line, championship on the line, that choking list. That's what I want to see.
Coach, there you go. Coach Dogging James Harden, man.
Hey, but James
Might be the
Harden,
equivalent.
hey, he congratulations to James. Klay Thompson gets a loving, warm welcome back to the Warriors arena.
Mm-hmm.
And a huge congratulations to Klay Thompson for one, his adapting and performance. And as athletes, we understand how difficult it can be coming back from significant major injuries and where people are questioning your ability to perform at a high level again. So I was happy to see the tribute video they made for him and how they showed him so much love coming back. So
That was gracious honor.
well, it was beautiful to see. NCAA update really quick. Juju Watkins hits
Ooh.
1,000 points and officially becomes the first, well, and she's in the first spot to be the youngest and fastest to hit 1,000 points in her college career.
Mm-hmm.
I think Juju Watkins is
Surpassing
on
Caitlin
track.
Clark.
Yeah.
Yes. I think she is on track to being the NCAA all-time scoring leader if she decides to stay all 4 years.
Well, she has to stay all 4 years. You got to stay 4 years before you go into the WNBA, unless the rule has been changed and you have to be 21 years old.
Well, Ron,
Or was it
there's
19?
No,
well,
no, that's for the guys. For the girls, you have to be 21.
Ron, there's always overseas money.
Oh,
There's
I'll tell
always
you
an
what, them overseas girls, they got a girl from Australia, Kentucky, named Amor. Oh my goodness, she is the real deal. But go
oh yeah.
ahead, Coach.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of money to be made overseas for Juju Watkins. So we will see what she decides to do. And finish as Gino Oriema told her last year. They said, "Do you have any words for Juju?" He said, "Go pro," and he left it at that. So we will see what ends up happening. And then on the WNBA side, Sue Bird will officially be inducted into the Hall of Fame along with
Mm-hmm.
Sylvia Fowles. So we will
Mm-hmm.
get to see. Yes, that's a huge congratulations of the
That's a
certified bucket
Utah and the
getter.
LSU girl going up in there. Yes,
Yes,
Yes.
you have a certified bucket getter and a certified bucket stopper going
and
into,
rebound.
yes, being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Um, Really quick, I wanted to ask you both about touching on the NCAA. And next show, we will allot more time to discuss some NCAA news as well as our G League babies. But there was a situation that took place on a charter flight for Auburn men's basketball team where the pilot had to make an emergency landing because a fight broke out on the plane amongst teammates.
Mm-hmm. Was it over a girl or over a seat?
What are you guys' thoughts on the whole situation? I mean, an emergency landing mid-flight for not because two different teams are on the same flight, but teammates
That
fighting so
that that's
bad that the plane
We getting
has
off this we getting
that's
off this
something.
plane, everybody finna run suicides till you throw up.
But
everybody.
he
Put
didn't
a
do that.
bucket in each corner.
He didn't do that. He
Put a
got he,
bucket in each corner. We running.
what happened was that the charter airline said, "I'm not." The pilot said, "I'm not flying these guys." Okay, he went back to Auburn. He landed the plane. They had to get a new charter plane
Mm,
to fly him to Houston. He did not punish anybody for that. So they got back on the plane. They went. They played a heck of a game. I watched that game, Houston and Auburn. That was a really good game, a nail biter.
They
Auburn winds
should
up
have.
Auburn winds up winning it with like 10 seconds to go in the game, and Bruce Pearl smiling from ear to ear, and the fans that were at the stadium, the Toyota Center in Houston. That was a lot of people, man. But look, I still haven't heard any punishment over that. I haven't heard anything about the school punishing any players or suspending any player. They still playing like they played last night and won. And I still haven't heard anything about them being, punished for that. So hey, It is what it is. But
Wow.
as I said, was it over a seat or over a girl?
Well, it's really hard, and it almost now makes me wonder, with the lack of punishment, if coaches are almost fearful of the repercussions of
Mm.
giving out punishment because you have the portal where, okay, you think you're going to punish me, I'll leave.
That's right.
And
They'll leave on you too.
See, the parent in me couldn't let that ride. So
no,
get all this out the window. That's being privileged.
that
But
is
hey, we would have
extremely
been outside in that parking lot.
Coach,
18.
All of y'all line up.
I believe you, coach, and that's a great way to do it. But there are some parents that wouldn't even do that. They would say,
Mhm.
"Look, my
Okay.
kid even going to the other school, but hey, that's just the way some people are these days." But you're right. You would have been recommended for acting up like that on a plane to where y'all about 10,000 or 20,000 feet up in the air, and y'all wanted to decide to get up here and wrestle in this little small space. Come on,
Acting plumb fool.
And as a teammate, there's no way I would even feel, my anxiety is already high enough flying, okay? And then we on a small plane, so that just raises it up a notch. And then y'all, and we're talking about NCAA basketball players, men. These are not small people.
Oh no.
These are people that are 6'3" and up,
Mhm.
on average, that are, you guys are wrestling on this little plane.
Mhm.
Once somebody body slams somebody, I'd be scared. We might, that might bring the plane down a little bit.
Oh,
That turbulence is something to hit.
Yeah.
yep.
I'd be way, way too scared for that. But really quick, because I know we're hitting bonus time, I just can't let our amazing producer off the hook. And I have to talk about what's going on with the 76ers. They are 2-11, tied with the Wizards for the worst record in the NBA right now. Not only that, but Tyrese Maxey says, "Hey, Embiid, ever since you got your new money, you've been acting different." The team said he got his check and now he's acting like new money.
He's
And
stealing money.
he's he's been late. Apparently, there's an accusation from Maxey as well that Embiid has been late for everything.
Mhm. That sounds like an angel to me there.
Now, what do you guys think is going on? And not only that, just a reminder, Paul George decided to leave the Clippers, not resign, because he couldn't get that fifth year on his deal. So he decided to go to the 76ers, where he's been injured, Pandemic P, collecting a check. And this 76ers team not panning out so far to really much of anything. Like I said, they're tied for the worst record in the NBA right now.
Stealing money, man. That's what they known to do. Paul George went up a couple of nights ago, came down and say, hey, look, I'm done, man. I'm done. I got a strained knee, man. I look, you know
Bruce.
what
It's
happened the
Bruce.
last time my knee went out. Look, Paul George is stealing money. MB stealing money. They got a bunch of guys in the NBA stealing money. Bad, real bad. It's obvious. They putting it right out there in front of you. And then here we are, dedicated, fanatic fans going to the game, buying $25 for one slice of pizza, $10 for a Coke, $12 for a beer. It's just ridiculous. I mean, you got to go there. I remember one guy said, "Man, I went to the concession stand. Man, I spent $230." He said, "Man, what did you buy?" He said, "Oh, I brought this," and it's highway robbery. And
It
then
is.
you gotta pay for the seats. And what you said, some seats were going for the G League $1,200
Mm-hmm.
or what?
For Bronny's, the resale.
Yeah,
Regular price for G League maybe $11.
I mean,
Wow.
look. You got to go to an NBA game and sometimes an NFL game or whatever, and you got to bring $10,000 with you. And if you bring your family, you got to bring $25,000 with you. So I'm telling you what, I I can't see myself going to an NBA game or pro football game, spending that much money just to see some people run up and down the field and not give it their all. And
Mm,
then there's some guys that
Or
won't
have
even show up.
tantrums.
Yeah, and some guys that won't even show up to
no,
play that
that's a
you
great
want to see
point.
play.
Now, to end it, I need to get you guys' prediction on the fate of this 76ers team. Are they going to have a tanked season?
I
It
hope
looks
not.
that way.
I hope not, but but it looks that way. But I
No,
hope, but man, I hope they pull it together,
if
man.
if you got Embiid having a tantrum at the free throw line that he shot with nobody on him now, this is a free throw. That ain't looking too good for y'all. Your
No,
key player. Mm,
some mental
that
problems
don't look
going
so
on.
good.
It's
Ron?
like I said, I hope not, but it looks that way. I just don't know what's going on with the team. They just got a new coach, and they just got your boy from California, GP over there. I mean PG over there, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just a mess. They got rid of Ben Simmons. It looks like he's slowly turning around in Brooklyn. They said he scored 2 or 3 points the other night, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the Philadelphia 76ers. That is not the Philadelphia 76ers I grew up watching. I tell you that.
Well,
You sound disappointed, Ron.
I am disappointed. I am disappointed. Philly was one of my main teams. I used to watch Philly play when Wilt Chamberlain was on the team way back in the day.
well, I will say it'll be very interesting to see what happens. And as you all know, we will be monitoring it closely on here on your favorite sports show, Talking Hoops, on Sports Radio 102.9 The Game. Be sure to tune in next week where we will come back with more updates about NCAA as the season is just getting started. And Coach Max G League babies has some great developments and some new contracts, and also a few demotions have taken
Ooh,
place.
Mm.
yes.
And we will be back and we will see you all next week. Thank you for tuning in.
Are we going to be next Thursday?
That is a great question. We will be Wednesday.
Okay.
Wednesday at 7, you can catch us. Same time, same place.